Welcome back to Ox Tools. I'm Tom. So we got a quick Roach Coach break episode, and a few guys have been asking about my belt sander. So we're going to go over to the belt sander. I got to put a new belt on it anyway, so I figured it was a good time to kind of go over it and show some of the features. Some guys that are interested in building their own. It's a simple tool to build if you have a lathe and a mill or access to one. Anyway, let's go tear that thing apart and have a look at it. We'll take some measurements and show some of the features. All right. Okay, so here's the belt sander. So I built this, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, something like that. We needed a belt sander for the shop that we were working in, and I had some 5 horsepower motors. I had a couple of these. This is a single phase 5 horse motor. I had a couple of them, so it was like, okay, let's use it. And I built this thing in a weekend. I started on Friday after work, and then took it to work on Monday morning, and one of the electricians wired it up and put a plug on it, and we used it for 20 years in that shop. So anyway, let's see. I'm gonna pull the camera in a little closer, and we'll take the table off. We'll take the belt off and the guards, and then we'll look at some of the tensioner and the belt tracking adjustment. So we'll take a look at those things. Okay, so here's the table, and I wanted, one of the features that's really nice to have on a belt sander is the ability to adjust the table easily. So this moves it in and out so that you can vary this this gap here easily, and this is the tilt adjustment so that you can make the table at any angle you want. And then what's nice here is you can take that off, and now you just have more belt available to you. And there's the in fact, that probably needs to be built up again. And the rod's just kind of cut in half and bolted on. And this is just cold rolled steel. This is just a clamp adjustment here. Okay, and that's just a shoulder bolt, and then it moves on that back and forth. Okay, so let's leave that off. Set that aside. Okay, so I'm going to go get a tool here, and we'll pull this guard off, and we'll pull the belt off. Okay, originally when we built this thing, it didn't have this upper guard on it. But as we started to use it more, it's got 2 screws in it. As we started to use it more, you know, you got a mustache full of dust on you there. So we built a little guard for it to keep that out of your face. I'll just set that aside. Now I'll find the screw later. It was kind of nice having that exposed. If you had internal radii to do, it was right there, but it just threw too much crud off in your face. Okay, so this is the adjustment here for slackening the belt. And you saw the belt just got slack there, and it's a little dovetail arrangement. And well, this whole assembly goes up and down on this dovetail. It looks like it could use a little lubrication. Generally, I don't put a lot of lube on that because it just attracts a lot of the crud that builds up on there. And then there's a shaft that runs all the way through, and it pivots on this bolt here. And this is a screw that, and I'll shoot into the end here, and you can see that. So basically this shaft is pivoting about this point. This is your adjustment, and that's your belt tracking. And I'll get a protractor and we'll measure these angles so you guys can see these angles too. So Okay, so in that shot you can see there's the shaft that goes all the way through, and then it's got a pivot through that center point. And then I'm just gonna stick this protractor on here and get a rough angle there. Looks like 1 degree. Okay, so basically these are it's just conical. Okay, with a high spot in the center, and it's 1 degree per side. This particular roll is about 3 inches in diameter at the big point here, 75 millimeters, something like that. And this is a 6-inch belt sander, which is a 160 millimeters. And the belt length, it's 48, or what is that? That's 1200 millimeters, something like that. 80, 90. Yeah, 1200 millimeters, yeah. What else? I don't know. What else can we look at up here? Oh yeah, let's look at how this, now both wheels are crowned on this particular one, and I believe this is the same angle here. Yeah, this one's a little less, probably a 1/2 degree per side. So 1 degree included angle. This is 2 degree included angle. You don't need much. A few percent of the belt width usually works. Start out small angle and increase if you have trouble with tracking. That's the way to do that. Okay. All right, on this side you can see it's just got bearings that sit in counterbores on either side, and it's retained with a snap ring. So nothing magical there. These are just sealed bearings here. From the looks of it, they're 6205, something like that. 3/4 inch diameter shaft. 19 millimeter shaft, something like that. Okay. Let's see, what else can we show at this end here? I don't know, nothing. And then we'll go down and we'll try to get a shot of the lower drive pulley. All right, so this is the lower drive pulley here, and it's just a solid aluminum roll, 4 inches in diameter. Okay, 100 millimeter diameter, and it's keyed, and then it's just got a couple of set screws that drive the key and into the shaft and lock the whole thing up, and that does the whole thing. So the bearings of the motor are taking the load of all that. Normally you'd have this on its own set of bearings and then some kind of coupling, but this has been running for 20 plus years without a problem. Actually, I just noticed it looks like I'm missing a fastener here. This was one of the trickier things, is how to attach this plate here to the motor. So I made some weird little nuts that picked up some studs that were in the case of the motor. So I remember that now. It was kind of a pain in the you know what. I don't know, what else should we look at? I don't know, not much to these things, guys. This could probably be, the deltas, I believe, are slightly crowned on the lower roll. I'm not 100% on that. I haven't looked at one in a long time, so. But this one's crowned. And I just noticed there's a little note inside here. It says 0.3 degree per side. So that's the, it's a little over 1/2 degree included angle to the center point. And you can see the line here that I put in the center, and that's kind of a target line. As you're machining that taper, you fade out to the center here. So, all right, let's go ahead and just put a belt on here. I get a new one here. You always look to make sure you have the arrows going the right way here. I don't quite understand why that matters, but the belt people put it on there, so why not, right? centered up. I kind of just do a pre-adjustment. So I don't drive into the, so it actually wants to come out, so that changes the tension a little bit. So you end up adjusting both a little bit at the same time. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's give it a little pulse here. Okay, there it is, and then we'll adjust this all back. We got to get a square here. Get a square. Okay. That's it. Thanks for watching.